The selection of horses is more based on taste and non-objective criteria. So for the horse, in most of the breeds, the main selection criterion is aesthetic. Not functional. A good function also generates a good aesthetic, but a good aesthetic is not necessarily going to generate a good function. The first thing we have to know when we talk about selection is that it refers to the fact that I am going to choose for my mare or mares one or several breeders that improve the conditions that I believe they have very good, and obviously that they do not include me or enter my herd of horses or my cattle. Conditions that I do not want to have in my offspring. A very clear example. Yanua is a brown mare. The brown color is not the color that excites me the most in life, but it has many other things that are superior to the color for me. As I don't like the moor, I have tried to make crosses that do not perpetuate the moor in the offspring. I did it with the first foal, with Murcielago, who came out brown, and now with Golosina she will be brown. But that is also a luck of having a mare of that color. So, what I try to do with the selection is to perpetuate the good things and try to eliminate the things I don't like, so that each time the offspring I get are more skilled, more apt, better, that they outperform their mom and dad basically. What do we have now? Animals that are basically the same as the ones we had 10,000 years ago, but with different characteristics because the traits have changed. What did I select the animals for? For a trade. What do I want in the Colombian Criollo horse? Softness. Basically what I want are horses that move very smoothly, with very good energy and good attitude to go forward with verve and disposition. So each breed of horse has its own particularities, both morphological and obviously genetic, that allow them to fulfill a function or not. I don't want a Colombian Criollo horse for a classic competition track. A fine horse for racing will not perform, nor will it have the necessary drive. Nor do I want a heavy draft horse for a horseback ride. I want a softer horse. With a calmer gait, a softer horse, with a calmer gait. So, depending on what I want, I will choose the breeders or the breeding stock donors to obtain better and better horses. Let's start first on why I chose Yanuba. I started training her when she was in the hands of her previous owner. She was very young and he wanted her to start her process. I started when she was 2 years old. It was a bit rushed and hard for her because of her character. However, after a year of training, I said, I have never ridden a mare like that, with that attitude, personality, and fieriness. I want this for myself. I negotiated with her owner and I kept her. That was between 2013 to 2014, I really don't remember. Despite her color, she has much better things: her movements, attitude, head, energy and spirit. I decided not to reward her for a long time until she was very well trained and I could take full advantage of her on rides. I started with her in working equitation competitions. I wanted her to be a high competition horse. But there came a time when I said, no. I definitely want her for riding. So I dedicated myself to ride her, long rides, 2-day rides, whatever it was. Then came the moment when I said, I'm going to impregnate her. And I looked for an animal in her that had endurance, softness, gentleness, and the ability to ride on all roads. All this while preserving her spirit and energy. Then I chose an American 1/4 of a mile horse, very big and beautiful. It was not a working horse, but a high horse, almost a show horse because of its size and volume. But I chose him because I saw him work and I saw him riding, and he is absolutely gentle. He gave me a colt that we call Murciélago. At this moment he is 4.5 years old and he already rides. He is a horse with a very good body and a super nice volume. He does not have Yanuba, he is not very bulky. He has a very big difficulty in his top line. His neck is thin, his back is a little weak and he lacks strength in his top line. So I looked for a horse that had it and I succeeded, except for the neck. The neck of Murciélago is slightly inverted, it is not a thick or muscular neck, but it is fine, it accompanies the horse well, although I would have wanted it different. But he turned out to be a gentle, calm horse, with a very good will to work. And then, thinking about correcting this issue of the horse's neck, which at first tormented me, I chose a donkey because I really like mules. Which donkey? I chose a Brazilian Pega. This class is already well proven to give saddle and working mules in Brazil especially. I chose that donkey for her and I got Golosina. I think she improved in many things what Murciélago doesn't have, except for the color because she will be purple. But anyway, they are one for the other, she gave it body, she gave it attitude, she gave it that fieriness. He kept many things that I wanted from the mare and I proposed not many positive things that I wanted from that donkey, because I knew him many offspring before he was chosen. I have to start from a very important basis, which is that the first critic of my mares must be me. I cannot hide the defects of my horses simply because they are mine and because I don't want to see them. I have to know very well what is inherited, and what is not inherited. I have to know very well which qualities will be easily passed on to the next generation and which are not, which are environmental and which are genetic. The phenotype, what I see of the horse, what I can measure, touch, smell, depends on the genotype, that is to say, on the DNA, its genetic proportion and the environment. Between the environment and genetics there is one that is not inherited and that is the environment. I can have a very fat, beautiful and gentle horse in the stall, but genetically it can be thin, small or even very brave. But because of a good management I have a horse like that. This is not going to be inherited. Then that choice begins. I have to ask myself what I want to keep, what I want to inherit and what not. And obviously I have to know what I can sacrifice for a greater purpose. For me it is riding horses and walking animals, knowing that the mule is going to serve me. Murciélago, for example, is already serving me. It can be green, blue, orange. But if it serves me for riding, it will be good. The color is the least important as long as it serves a purpose. The selection of horses is more by taste and non-objective criteria, i.e. movement, smoothness and beauty movement. Color is obviously an aesthetic issue. So for the horse in most breeds, the selection criteria is aesthetic, not functional, and a good aesthetic is not necessarily going to generate a good function. In order to make a good selection of my mare or the breeder for her, I have to take into account, what is she going to be good for? What do I want from her? What is she good at? To be able to choose a good function, and the aesthetics almost always come with it, but not to leave everything to chance. Unfortunately, since we don't measure anything, we have many things that are random. We don't know in most cases what is going to give us these crosses, or this service of this mare with this super good breeder. We almost never know what she is going to give us, because unfortunately we don't measure. Of the 4 mares and the 4 yearlings that we have in the pen, there are 3 different things. The first one is from my Arabian mare with the donkey. I chose to have a mule, that is to say a hybrid, for riding. I think it is going to serve me because with 6 months he already has a body that at the time Murciélago did not have. He has very nice things, besides that I keep from the mare and the donkey the little ear inwards, which is very nice, and her little Arabian face. He has a lot of spirit and things that are really important for me. For example, he has a plum that the colt did not have. This mule is very well plumbed. Her limbs are very fine and firm, so I like that about her, except for her color. I like that about her, except for the color, which is going to be brown, but as I said, I am giving it up for another higher interest. I think she will be a very good mule for my rides. In second place, we have the smallest of them all, Gianora. Her mother is a normal Criollo mare, of her mother is a normal Creole mare. For work and riding, to which we put a Portuguese horse, thinking that they were thicker animals with a better body and attitude. The mare is a sometimes, and the Portuguese horse has that particularity that calms the attitude of the horses, gives them tranquility. So it is expected that Gianora, when she is older and in the process of gestation, will also show us certain tranquility. The mare is too long for my taste, but this filly is shorter, very round, with a very well-proportioned logo and a neck with a very good top line. In addition, she also has a very beautiful head with a very striking look that will last. He also has very high movements, nice results that are important for the horse's performance in riding and for work that requires good expressiveness. Let's say that those are the 2 examples, where a mare of one breed was crossed with another animal of another breed or of another species. The other 2, in the colt and the filly, are sons of Creole mare with Creole horses. Both are of diagonal gait, trotters or trocadores, and their parents are also trotters or trocadores. Clearly in their gait they are showing that they are of diagonal gait. In the case of the foal of Compania, which is the mare with the Lucerito, He will be a very good-sized horse. He is only 7 months old and already has a good profile. He seems a little long for my taste, but I think he has good movements. He is very alert, with a very good body and a good mid-race. This last one refers to his metabolism. He keeps himself in very good shape all the time. If we look at the mother, she is skinny, but her meat is in the foal, just like the meat of Yanuba is in Dalasina. So, I prefer the mare to get skinny, because I fatten her. Fatten her up later, but that my mule does not lose growth, and that ability that they have to grow so high up to that they have to grow so fast until they are a year old. So she develops very well, and then I fatten the mare. The other filly for me is extraordinary. From what I have been doing here in this farm, she is the most important breeding they have. She was crossed with a very good breeding horse. In fact, she is an extremely well-driven stallion, and she is a filly with extraordinary conditions, not only genotypically in terms of body, but also in terms of movements. I think she is only 3 or 4 months old, and she is practically at the size of the others. That is to say that her growth will be superior. She will be much better than her mother, who was simply a riding mare. But there you can see that he improved her. You can really see a crossbreeding that hit. For my taste, perfect. The offspring was superior to her mother, and we hope she will be superior to her father. I don't think they will want her for riding or track like her father, but she will be a filly of extraordinary conditions. We are going to see what we have, what we get, and how we can improve it. Knowing that what we improve in them that we don't like will not be perpetuated in the following generations. Since we choose our horses for the utility they provide us, it is important to clarify beforehand what we want. Do not choose the wrong horse for the activity you want. I tell you again, if you want a horse for horseback riding, do not choose a high competition German breed. Choose one that can stand in paddocks or on trails, that is manageable in its size, feeding, in everything. First of all, be clear about what you want from your horses. Second, when you have already identified the genetic lines of that breed, the crosses that have been obtained through time in that same genetic line or breed, what has been the result of these people and what management they have given them to have those results. I have very good products genetically. I also have to provide a good environment, and I cannot leave it all to them. I cannot leave it all to genetics. It is the two things that produce a good phenotype. Let's remember that only genetics will be transmitted, not the environment, but we have to ensure a good environment. We must really study, look at horses with the eyes of a trader, a critic, or a boner. Boner, to be able to see your animals part by part and choose what you like and what you don't like, what will be inherited and what won't be inherited. So that when you choose the breeding stock for that mare, you can also break it into pieces and choose what you like. What will go well with your mare and what you are willing to sacrifice in order to get a good performance. A good function can generate a very good aesthetic. A good aesthetic is not necessarily going to give me a good function. But with Golosina, I am satisfied for having achieved this crossing. Because an American mule breeder told me some time ago, cross your mare with a Brazilian donkey. It will take you a lifetime to train her, but you will love her, and since she is 6 months old I love her, her attitude, her ear. Watching her grow, seeing her getting purple. I love that she is getting closer. And closer to me. I can't wait for 3 years from now to start training her. Putting her in a saddle and riding her. I am making some very big dreams with her, and it gives me great satisfaction to have been able to obtain what I wanted so much. That mule that I wanted so much. Fruit of that mare that I adore with a Brazilian donkey. So, for me it is a great pleasure to have obtained this result.